Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much to Alicia and to all of you for the recognition that you're giving me tonight. When I first met Derek, no one at the school, no one at our university knew about his background. But when they found out, the campus was in an uproar, and it got quite ugly. Some people did hateful things and actively tried to get him expelled. At the time, my good friend and fellow student Moshe Ash and I had started hosting Shabbat dinners every Friday in my dorm room for people of any background and any religion who were interested in attending. And we talked about the treatment that Derek had been receiving and decided to invite him to one of those Shabbat dinners, not to ambush him, but to allow him to form human connections and to see firsthand the people and the things that his ideology despised. In fact, we agreed it would be best not to bring up white nationalism at all. I felt and have since confirmed that had I tried to immediately argue about the rightness or wrongness of his views, that Derek would have gone on the defensive and never come back. So even though he came back week after week, we never directly discussed his racial views. And when he went off to grad school, I didn't know if those views had changed at all. However, he soon renounced the ideology he'd spent his whole life promoting, and credits those Shabbat dinners and the resulting friendships, particularly with Allison Gornick, as the spark that invited that change. Both Moshe and Allison are here tonight. I believe the story teaches two valuable lessons. First, that anyone, no matter what they've done or how entrenched they are in those behaviors, can transform themselves and change their lives. And second, you can respect a person as a human being, even if you don't agree with their views. You can still treat them with human dignity. If each one of us took upon ourselves these individual efforts, I have no doubt that we could change the world. Thank you.
Like Matthew, I'm greatly honored to receive this and to be here tonight. Speaking with Alicia over the last several weeks, I've realized what a genuine, caring, good man he is and the burden that he bears from his family lineage. And everyone here should know what an honor it is to receive something in his father's name from his hand. And with that said, it also feels quite strange to stand here. At one point during the preparation, I was told that it was typical to reach out to your networks in order to try to secure journal ads. But in my case, most of the people I know would think that we're here promoting the Zionist government, and afterwards we're going to go talk about how to destroy Western culture. And that's really difficult for me. It may be hard to understand, but in many ways, I feel that my actions renouncing white nationalism are consistent with some of the ways and the values that I was raised with. When I was raised, we were supposed to think critically about the flaws in our society and to do whatever we could to fix them, no matter what the consequences were. And I know that my family will disagree, do vociferously. Many don't speak to me. But I hope they understand that it's those values that I continue to strive towards standing here tonight. And those gathered in this room can likely see better than most that dynamics of in-group and out-group and exclusion can take many forms in many different societies, and even the most outwardly civilized places can act in shocking ways when the majority decides who is that outsider. And that definition of an outsider changes constantly. Anyone who observes the ideology that I came from and white nationalism and notes that Jews are considered not white in that ideology will understand that inclusion is very fickle and that the consequences are very high. I spent the first several years after I renounced white nationalism trying to keep as low a profile as I could, to keep my head down, because I thought that the course of history was fine, that I just wanted to forget my past. Then events changed. The author of the article reached out to me a second time after I had told him to go to hell a year before. It was 2016. I thought things were different and that in some ways I was different. So I thank Eli Sasla for writing that article and changing the way that I think about my own past and in some ways the role that I play now in my life. I relate to my own story in a different way, and I hope that it does some good. It's certainly a hard road ahead for all of us, so I thank you very much.